morning, everyone. This is Alfie Animus. This is Associated Guest. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus. Can you tell I'm barely into my first cup of coffee? But this is the Bear in Mind channel. Today, Spencer Pratt moves into the next phase. The not running for anything, all hell breaks loose because I feel for Spencer Pratt. I do. It seems like the guy's genuine and he actually wants change. And I salute him for that. He's going kamikaze on these folks, and I love it. I love it. Tulsi Gabbard did it against Kamala Harris, and it was glorious. I don't know her name. Nina Lynn. I don't know why I don't remember that when I'm typing out the descriptors. But Nina Lynn, that Twitch streamer known for titties and a voice that sounds like she works the midnight to 6 a.m. shift at Denney's in the 90s, back when they had a smoking section. You guys want some more coffee? She got arrested. We're going to find out why. Tatianna Monslani, I don't know how to spell it, but I know how to say it, begs for her job back. We might do that story, but we might skip to Ghostbusters, and then Lord Nuxanor went on the Roseanne podcast. If I had known about this 2 days ago when it happened, I would have streamed it over the weekend. But let's get into it with Spencer Pratt.
Now that the campaign portion of my mission to save Los Angeles is coming to a close, and I'm moving on to the next, more interesting phase, listen, I've spent a lot of time slaying everybody. I've ridiculed everyone on the roster, and I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take the chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. You think you can get rid of me that easily? I know a lot of dim-witted jerks thought I was in this for a grift, that I was going to roll up and leave town if I didn't get into City Hall. It's just not fair. Hey, morons, I didn't get in this for political power.
I love how that's the one time that Jimmy Kimmel was fake crying. Oh, wait, he's always fake crying? He's just kind of a bitch? That's true.
Got in this to expose this corrupt machine, and nothing has changed. You enjoy your worthless meetings in City Hall.
Nikki, you have all this information. You're running for mayor. Show what you're really about, or get the fuck out of the race.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
You up every single day, and now I don't have to worry about offending CNN viewers. I don't have a campaign laws hamstringing me now. It's war. It's 0 hour for Los Angeles. Angelinos are now stuck with two morons responsible for all their problems, and they have to choose between Dumb and Dumber. That's not a choice. That's the machine protecting the machine. And now every problem that plagues Los Angeles because of these two corrupt communists.
Sorry, dude. I'm just getting like, you know how it's doing the slow zoom? I'm getting sucked into it, man. This dude can make a video. Oh my God.
Going to accelerate, and the city will tumble headlong into the abyss. You have no idea how many major developers.
It kind of weirds me out how he's only got 4 headlines in the middle, though. I mean, they don't go all the way across. I mean, good for you, man, but, you know, get Botox all the way across if you're going to get it. It looks like a thumb. Anyway, sorry.
Owners, entrepreneurs have been texting me saying they're packing up and leaving town. More of your favorite restaurants will be shuttering. That means less tax revenue. That means the city has to cut services. More potholes, less firefighters, less police patrols, more criminals, more drug addicts terrorizing your communities. And we haven't ended it. You have no idea how bad things are about to get for this city. Look at this place already. Weeds growing from every crack and crevice. Graffiti over every square inch of public space. Garbage, drugs, feces, burned up dogs, burned down towns, abandoned storefronts. This city is a mess, and you're about to reward the arsonists who torched the place with 4 more years of destruction?
I know he's very bitter.
My goal hasn't changed. I've been laser focused on stopping these commie animals, and I will stop them. If you think we uncovered a lot of fraud and evil in the campaign, just
I can't wait.
We have some recordings of one of your exalted candidates doing and saying something that would make her resign in shame. I was saving it for the general election. Go ahead and pick your demon, certify your choice, and then you get to see it.
I think the LA symbol for an A, I mean, I see where he's going because LA is in the heart of everything. It's in the heart of his name on this, but it makes it look like Spencer Platt. You know what I'm saying?
So Karen, Nithya, ask yourself, is it possible that one of your employees may have a recording of you doing or saying something that would force you to resign in disgrace? Hope you sleep well at night over the next 5 months, because you know who hasn't slept well at all for the last 17 months? My mom. All my neighbors in the Palisades, all the moms who worry about their kids walking past drug addicts in front of their schools, all the business owners getting crushed in the LA economy, worried that they can't stay in business and feed their kids. Angelinos have been struggling for years now, all while corrupt politicians and fraudulent NGOs profit off the misery and fleece us for the tax dollars. Well, now we're flipping the script. I want all of you awake at night sweating and worried about 5 a.m. when the FBI...
I still can't believe Nithya Raman said, I just thought I was going to be talking about bike lanes and potholes.
Blazers busting the
What
door,
the fuck?
breaking open your office, because I assure you, they're coming. You think your election was going to stop me? If you want to stop me...
You're gonna have to fucking kill me!
Dude, she was so great on Ozark. I just want to say. It sucks where her character ended up, but she was so great on Ozark.
New York City
Excuse me,
is
sorry.
officially third world living at first world prices, as after last night's Knicks victory, you couldn't tell if they were riding over a win, a loss, or even food shortages. Since the New York Knicks finally won a championship, idiots everywhere thought they could do whatever they wanted, including attacking the vehicles of their fellow citizens and likely Knicks fans. So several live streamers took to the streets to document these EBT activities. But
They're braver than me, man, because especially the well-known ones, I wouldn't do that shit, and nobody knows what the fuck I look like. Like, this is, damn.
the night quickly turned into riots, as even cop cars weren't protected, but some saw it as an opportunity to do whatever they wanted, eventually getting arrested. As side talks, truck girls
Hell yeah.
somehow
What-
got
yo, what the fuck did I
confused
do,
and
yo?
were not allowed to ride on top of delivery trucks. And after her camera guy ditched her,
Yo, bro, Nina got arrested.
Good. He should
she
have
was
fucking bailed.
incredibly angry over this.
At 4 a.m. in the morning, I celebrate the Knicks in the cell. Yo, I'm dead tight. And my cameraman ran off. Bro, my cameraman dead ass ran off.
And honestly,
Hell yeah, you're a fucking retard, man. Like, why wouldn't he run off?
I can't even listen to this. He just sounds like that rapper Sticky Fingers to me. And as a internet personality that is also most known for being a strange sounding Asian, I didn't necessarily want to single her out. Not out of solidarity, just it's annoying to me. But she's just the perfect example of everything wrong with NYC and streaming, as these giant riots provide nothing but opportunity for idiots to do activities they normally wouldn't or couldn't. As on the tame end, people will come out and celebrate things they know nothing about.
Who's your favorite player on the Knicks?
Jalen Brunson, let's be honest.
Your next favorite player?
That's all I got for you.
I said that before. Can you name 3 Knicks players?
So here's the thing. I'm a bandwagon, born and raised.
Born and raised
I'm from Florida. I'm a Miami Heat fan.
And on the other, complete
Hey, at least she's
anarchy,
honest about it.
stopping all commerce over a sports game, as eventually they completely destroyed their own public transportation, with the
Why?
police doing nothing about it.
Like what I don't understand is why would you do this shit? It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense, man. And the fact that nobody gets arrested. Why don't they get arrested? Because then they can be like, oh, our crime's actually down. No, it's not.
So their school buses suffered a worse fate, making them into a sort of makeshift parade.
I hope one of them damn hoppers falls.
Until they decided to randomly destroy these public school buses working for the World Cup.
Oh man, I'm so cool. Of course,
As
it's the little
weakest
skinny white kids.
individuals ever
Hey,
couldn't even street fighter this bus with a scooter.
yo, crack himself in the face. Do it. I gotta say, the little wheelie razor scooters are probably the worst thing to do this with. You're gonna crack yourself in the face, dick nuts.
I honestly don't understand what attacking a school bus with a scooter has to do with the Knicks winning a championship. Is there something I'm missing, or do you have to be on EBT to understand it? As eventually, they started to tear the hood off the bus to cheering. Maybe this is just their revenge against a public school system
retards,
for
man.
creating a society where everybody has a 10-minute mentality, as in they can't even imagine anything that isn't within 10 minutes, as the police essentially did nothing to save the buses. The EBT tribes walked off with the hood of a bus, but for some reason, setting them on fire.
Congratulations, now your kid can't go to school.
But the violence didn't stop with the buses, as they again stomped on Spurs fans.
That's so fucked up, man. Like, all the dude did was like his team. Hey, good job, cops, for actually doing something.
As sadly we can't even show it, but then a kid got blasted, to which it was incredibly difficult for the NYPD to respond to, let alone any emergency services to assist the injured kid. As insanely, I think this recovered weapon is from a separate second incident, but leave it to the mainstream media to say it just got a little over the top.
I think this starts to get a little
a
over the top.
a bit unruly.
Totally
It's a bit
unnecessary.
unruly.
But again, the NYPD is allowing this for now.
And yet
For
we're
now.
seeing this hood about to come off, and then whatever's happening right now.
I think just stay with it. Stay with it.
Probably gunshots.
Getting unruly is the new fiery but mostly peaceful, as 4 stabbings and 1 shooting isn't quite unruly, but again, CNN
It's
isn't
crazy.
quite
And honestly, I'm
news.
surprised it's
And
only
where
that
was
many.
the NYPD getting completely wrecked all night.
Tear gas, man.
Oh no.
Fucking
That
tear
was
gas.
just
I don't
another
care.
night the Knicks didn't even have a game. As the previous game that the Knicks were actually in New York City, they tried to light a Spurs fan on fire. That is after
Why would you do
successfully
this?
lighting some random girl on fire. And worse, paralyzing another kid in a random fight because the Knicks won a sports ball game. NYC seems a bit more than unruly, but that's only if you ignore the beatings, the bus burnings, shootings, and basically everything you can see freely on social media that the news networks choose to ignore on an effort to suggest socialism is working. As the only thing that could wrangle in all this unemployed behavior was the cowboy cop cavalry.
Tear gas. Spray the crowd with
breaking
tear
out the
gas, I don't care.
nightsticks on Knick fans. And then ripping off wigs.
Yo. Stomp on that wild animal. I'm talking about the wig.
As 63 were arrested after 4 stabbings and a shooting, including
Did you get
10
any of the
police
stabbers?
injuries, with only 15 actually facing criminal charges. But leave it to the socialist Mayor Mamdani to say most New Yorkers celebrated appropriately, but some did not, as thousands were acting beyond inappropriate.
Like, how do you even say that? How do you even say? Like, of course, most New Yorkers were acting appropriately. They didn't want to get stabbed. They had shit to do. They had work in the morning.
But he's got this narrative to push about being a part of this Knicks victory, with Democrats
When he balanced the
suggesting
budget
he
by
had
taking a
something to
loan
do
from
with
the
it,
state.
Even the Athletics saying it's Mamdani Sports Summer. I honestly don't know how many Mamdani victories the city can survive, as after a night of giant riots, destroying hundreds of thousands of dollars of property, not to mention the injuries to both the cops and kids, if only 15 see limp-wristed charges, they're about to see weekly takeovers in New York City. And Mamdani will need more than a state bailout, the National Guard, and Snake Plissken to save him. So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription.
I
and you'll
very much
subscribe
do,
to
bud.
Decoy.
There you go. Yo, go subscribe and like Mr. Decoy.
She's trying to beg her way back into the House of Mouse and into Marvel. Tatianna Maslany, the star of She-Hulk, if you can call anybody in She-Hulk a star, well, she's decided she's done with canceled Disney Plus. She's over get rid of everything
main character.
Disney, and now she's begging them, please, oh please, I need a job. I got bills to pay. No, seriously.
Honestly, I think I'm good. We'll get to Midnight's Edge.
Ghostbusters is in many ways a seminal film. While it is not patient zero in Hollywood unleashing the message upon an audience who never asked for it, it fired the opening salvo in a pop culture war that would lead to the erosion of Hollywood's grip on popular culture as well as its own financial stability. To say nothing of the completely
self-inflicted
of virtually all fan-favorite genre brands under the sun. To wit, only days ago, we learned that the upcoming Doctor Who Christmas special has been cancelled, which means that the franchise is now on an indefinite hiatus with no cast.
How does the creator, not the creator, but the guy who did some of the most popular seasons, I'm pretty sure this is the same guy who did the, the Matt Smith and the, how am I forgetting the most popular one? You know the one I'm talking about. The guy that played the Purple Man from Jessica Jones. I don't know why I can't think of his name. But had like the two most popular seasons in the entire series. The revival, when it came back. I'm pretty sure it came back after a hiatus. I don't know. I'm not a Doctor Who fan. And then he also led whatever this guy was.
No production partner and no showrunner attached. And apparently, no producer even wants to touch it, because the brand itself is now considered toxic. How did that happen? Well, because just like Marvel, Star Wars, Star Trek, and DC, it followed the formula laid out by Paul Feig's Ghostbusters to the letter, which was to take a franchise the fans likes and wants more of, but don't give them what they want. Oh no, 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 no. Give them an inverted and subverted version of it, which is all about identity, and which insults the legacy characters and the audience. And it does so in order to prop up more diverse characters that no one clicks with because they have no character beyond their race, gender, or sexuality. For those pushing the message, though, the failure of the Ghostbusters was one they never got over, especially not in light of Team Reitman actually getting control over the franchise back, and making not just one, but 2 legacy sequels since. And the door is not yet closed on another one, while Paul Feig's Ghostbusters wasn't even included as a bonus feature in the collector's 4K and Blu-ray set. Only after Paul Feig cried about it in public did they include it by way of an included paperslip with a free digital download code.
Yeah, hey, here's a digital download if you want to download this dog shit movie. Look, there was legit like 1 or 2 scenes that I even laughed at, and it was Patty. Patty was the most believable character. The most annoying one from the previews, I know, was the most believable. I thought it, because I actually broke down and watched it. I thought the scene where she was being followed by the mannequins, was the closest to the eeriness of the opening scene from Ghostbusters. It was the closest. It wasn't close, but it was the closest. And then her scene, where there was like a monster perched on her shoulders, and she's like, "I'm tired." No. I gotta go. And then she started walking off, and someone took a selfie of her. I thought that was pretty funny. I chuckled. And then there was another scene. I don't know. It seemed like it was just something that was just kind of kept in, and it was legitimately the funniest parts of the movie, which shows how unfunny the movie was because they weren't even that funny at parts. But I chuckled. which isn't nothing. So kudos to Leslie Jones, even though she's bitched the most since. And again, everyone bitched because the black person was the only non-scientist, and that was by design. They were to represent the everyman, to represent everybody. They were the person who was the reason that things got explained for the audience, basically. So they represent the audience or regular people. There's nothing wrong with that.
The media is still trying to defend the movie though, which brings us to this piece in The Guardian.
It sucked.
That would be the same Guardian that massively praised The Rings of Power upon its release, only to do a 180 once the final episode was out and claim it was pretty shit all along. And it was they that claimed Graham Hancock's Ancient Apocalypse was the most dangerous piece of programming more or less ever made, and they did so without even having watched it, because they claimed he invoked aliens, something he never did. But here then, they are back again defending the indefensible. In the piece, Who You Gonna Maul? Why Paul Feig's derided all-female Ghostbusters dazzles a decade later. Alright, so now the movie dazzles. That's why more and more people keep discovering it and singing its praises, right? Except that never happened. But let's see what they have to say.
And again, if they had done, like, Tomb Raider is basically Indiana Jones if they couldn't get the licensing right, so they made Indiana Jones a hot lady in British, and you have Tomb Raider, and Tomb Raider's very popular. Some would say as popular, maybe not as popular, but almost as popular as Indiana Jones. And then someone else wanted to do Tomb Raider or an Indiana Jones type thing and didn't quite want to get the licensing for sets for such, so they made Uncharted. You can do similar things. You know, you can create your own franchise. It is possible. I mean, it helps if you have talent behind it, which they clearly did not. So I understand the necessity to spend the extra money on franchise. So, but it was just awful. All you're going to do for a few extra bucks that you might not even get, you're just going to ruin an already established franchise and completely piss off their fans. Give fans something they want, at least nostalgia.
Criticism of Paul Feig's Ghostbusters reboot began more than 2 years before its release.
And again, I dug Bridesmaids. I thought it was pretty funny. The Heat was all right. Melissa McCarthy was already pretty played out. She went the way of Chris Farley with a vagina, and it didn't work out for her. But she was in a lot of Paul Feig movies, and some of them were pretty funny. I think The Heat was her and Sandra Bullock, maybe, but I think Kate McKinnon is pretty funny. I love the Abducted by Aliens or Ghost or Near-Death Experience little segments that she does on Saturday Night Live. She does a great Justin Bieber impression, which is pretty much just a lesbian drag king, an impression of my friend from when I was young, who was a lesbian drag king, who's now trans, doing an impression of a dude. But it was pretty much how her pretending to be a guy was. And now she does it full time. And then, oh God, I can't remember my favorite one. The one that played Cheetah in the really shitty Wonder Woman sequel. Oh, that's going to bug me. Hold on. What's the name of the girl from Bridesmaids and Ghostbusters? Kristen Wiig. Kristen Wiig is hilarious. She's great. She's fantastic. She just is. I don't care. She's funny. She's probably one of the funniest women alive. At least as far as ones that don't actually do stand-up. But as far as comedic actors goes, she's top-notch. I don't care. Has she been in a lot of shit? Yes. But she's been in a lot of good shit, too.
Specifically, It started the moment that the director of Bridesmaids and The Heat was announced in 2014 that he and writer Katie Dippold were to cast 4 women as paranormal exterminators.
Like I had heard before that they were wanting to do Jonah Hill and Chris Hemsworth, and I was just kind of like I wasn't looking forward to that idea either. And I really think this was in response to the mild backlash of the few people that heard about that one was. But no one wanted to see Jonah Hill in this either, because him and Melissa Carthy are the same person. They're formerly fat comedic actors who are only funny because they're fat, who lost weight and then no one cared anymore. Well, one of them did. Jonah Hill did. And then she just played herself out. She overplayed her hand.
The fate of their film was all but sealed. Yeah, obviously, because as we covered at the time, fans knew that they had just been denied the legacy sequel that they actually wanted in favor of a remake that no one wanted. And not just any remake, but a Paul Feig satire. That would be why there was backlash, though it is true that the movie's fate was all but sealed at that point, because they had shut down any path that could have led to success. The piece continues. A year later, the first trailer for the film swiftly became the most disliked film trailer on YouTube, and then the most disliked YouTube video ever. Such a concerted campaign of vitriol did not lessen with the film's release. And here I'd like
because they kept shitting on the fans. They even shit on the fans in the movie. Why? Ghostbusters was lightning in a bottle. They couldn't even recreate it with the sequel. The video game was pretty good.
You're dealing with that kind of dislike.
I mean, as good as it could be.
You're not dealing with a campaign. No, you're dealing with organic rejection. The piece continues. It was, in many ways, the cinematic sensation of the year. A firestorm of rage and revulsion all over a family supernatural comedy that Sony launched into a landscape already drowning in profitable franchises. And here it should be noted that while those franchises were profitable then, none of them are profitable anymore, because they would all go on to do what Paul Feig's Ghostbusters had done. The piece continues. The film came and went. The cast moved on, and while the backlash remained a touchstone, in 2018, Sandra Bullock called it unfair on a level that I can't even not be mad about talking about. The fury was redirected towards the likes of Daisy Ridley and Kelly Marie Tran in The Last Jedi, and then Brie Larson for Captain Marvel. Do note that here, The Guardian is trying to rewrite history.
Yeah, no. Daisy Ridley, for the most part, was well praised. Until The Last Jedi. And yes, there were trolls that went after Daisy Ridley and Kelly Marie Tran on X or Twitter at the time. And most people agree that those people are disgusting, because I'm pretty sure these two, at least at the time, never said anything against the fans. Never. Brie Larson, on the other hand, she earned what she got. And she learned. And she's going to move on from it. Because she learned.
No one had any issue with Kelly Marie Tran. It was the industry that bullied her, not the fans. And it was Lucasfilm that dressed her in a potato sack and had Finn show revulsion when she tried to kiss him.
This whole scene was stupid. Anyone can, at me on this one. This is the most idiotic scene in all of cinema. She crashes into him. It should have killed them both. The crash. Should have killed them both. Then she gives him the most awkward on-screen kiss you've ever seen. Said, it's not about killing what we hate. It's about saving what we love. You almost killed both of us, bitch. Like, what the even fuck? And now all of your friends behind you are going to die. Because you wouldn't let someone whose character they wasted have a peaceful goodbye. Not peaceful, but a heroic goodbye.
Fans didn't do that. That was all the industry itself. What the fans were up in arms about was the emasculation of Luke Skywalker, which wasn't mentioned in this piece. yet it continues, the precedent had been set. And online male superfans were free to lead the discourse over what was acceptable.
No, women, especially female fans who were actually fans of the franchises, also hated this shit.
Acceptable for women to achieve in their favorite fantasy sandbox. The ebb and flow of this anger mostly manifested itself through rage-baiting YouTube videos. Again, more rewriting of history. The female fans were no more forgiving than the male fans, and it was ultimately about the emasculation of the male characters, which was the only way the toxic creators
especially
knew how to
Chris
elevate
Hemsworth.
the female characters. Where there was no such emasculation, there was no problem, like with the first Wonder Woman, a movie that came out later
and also in Ghostbusters, Janine is a no-nonsense New York girl. Why did they make Chris Hemsworth? I don't even care about his stupid fucking name in the movie. But why did they make him such an idiot who they all just wanted to sleep with because he was hot and stupid? That's not what Janine was. I mean, it's what she became in the fan base and the zeitgeist because she was hot. She wasn't stupid, but she was hot. Because Annie Potts is hot, and when they changed Janine to having red hair for some reason, still hot.
which this piece conveniently ignores because it was embraced by everyone, including, and perhaps especially, the male fans. But that, of course, doesn't fit the narrative that this piece is trying to push. However, I will take full credit for those rage-baiting YouTube videos, and I'm proud to have personally led the charge when it came to Ghostbusters. 2 times. And the only good thing ever to come out of that shit movie was that YouTube coverage and the creators that rose in its wake. The author of the piece then gives her retrospective review.
Thought that was the end for a second.
Saying, this film's legacy to date has been forged in this hatred. But 10 years on, I find myself, I in this case being the author, a self-confessed Ghostbusters superfan, revisiting it more and more, not as a grim war artifact, but simply as a piece of art.
Yeah.
Its upbeat vibe is something lacking from a lot of modern blockbuster fodder. Except Motive, which took more than a few cues from this movie. But hey, anything to protect the narrative of this one article, I guess. Which continues.
I hear Masters of the Universe was good. I mean, not good, but it was very entertaining. Which is not something you can say about Ghostbusters 2016.
Its warmth and inclusivity, there's the keywords, means you seek out the company of the characters again and again. Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones, and especially Kate McKinnon, whose Bugs Bunny-esque mad scientist adds a nitro boost.
A nitro
Every scene
boost.
She's able to steal. I actually kind of agree with that. All seem to be thoroughly enjoying their time together, and the bond they form over the course of the adventure feels real and...
Look, it does enhance it does enhance a movie when it all seems natural. Okay, when the written lines are well written and their chemistry seems natural, that does enhance a movie 100%. You can tell in a lot of these, especially like old buddy cop movies where the guys were actually got along behind stage, or they fit the profile of the character where they didn't really get along but they came together for the sake of whatever the mission was. You could tell when they had that dynamic. And you can tell when they didn't. Tracy Morgan and fucking Bruce Willis, nah, didn't have it. Because Bruce Willis is a fucking asshole and Tracy Morgan's Tracy Morgan. I mean, those two aren't going to go together very well. But I still think Leslie Jones was the standout for me, at least. Kate McKinnon, it seemed like she was trying too hard. Like, you know that one friend who really wants everyone to like them, and it's usually a girl? That's what she felt like to me, at least. Like, she had a couple... I mean, like I said, I like her, but it's like a try-hard. Very much so. Or what the kids call a pick-me.
Well, it might have felt that way to this reviewer, but clearly few others agreed at the time. Also, this reviewer clearly missed what the original was all about, for she writes, "But watching the movie today, it's plain that what was billed as a reboot was actually a reinvention. Feig was just doing in 2016 what Reitman had done in 1984, taking the top comedy talent of the time and putting them into a high-concept movie experience." That phrasing right there suggests to me that this whole article maybe and probably is a paid-for puff piece, trying to reframe the movie's legacy as something other than the abysmal failure that it was. Now, I don't know who would have paid for such a puff piece. If indeed that is what this is, that is not for me to say. But I do find it interesting that those are the exact same words that Paul Feig used about the movie at the time. He used to say that he did what the original movie did, which was to take the funniest comedians of the time and put them into a high-concept comedy.
That's not who
That
these
is
people
not
are.
what the original movie was. No, the original was a completely honest story of entrepreneurs fighting against bureaucracy, as well as an exploration into the supernatural by people who really believe in it. And it wasn't made by some rando comedian.
And you have to understand, this guy especially, but also kind of this guy, very much believe in a lot of this stuff. Whereas this is just their jokey best friend who got butts in seats. And then originally it was supposed to be Eddie Murphy, but when Eddie Murphy declined, because I think he was doing Beverly Hills Cop or it was something. He was peak at the time. They got is it Ernie Reyes? Fuck, Ernie Hudson. Ernie Hudson. Let me make sure. No, I think Ernie Reyes is the guy that played Keno in Ernie Hudson. Yeah. Hold on. Ernie Reyes. Yeah, that's Ernie Hudson. I apologize. I don't.
Some rando director put together. No, it was made by people who were friends in real life and who shared a passion and interests. They knew each other and they worked well together. They just also happened to be among the most known comedians at the time. Might seem like a small difference, but that distinction is why the original Ghostbusters
it's huge.
will always be a timeless classic, while the remake will always be a flop, and a warning of what happens when you disrespect the property.
And let's point this out, with the same shitty writers, with an all-male cast, or whatever, okay, this could have been the top-notch mixed cast with all the best comedians. If the writing is shit and the chemistry is not there, and there's not the same passion for the project that they had with the original, then you get Ghostbusters 2, at best. And that was made by the original people with the same passion, but their heart wasn't 100% in it. And Hollywood stepped in and said, no, we can't do this, no, we can't do this, no, we can't do this.
The source material and the audience. Alas, it was a warning that Hollywood did not follow. And look at them now. Still, this piece tries to reframe the Paul Feig movie as some underrated masterpiece, just waiting to be rediscovered. Do you think it will ever get that afterlife?
No.
Let me know in the comments.
Go and support Midnight's Edge. These are the guys who got me into the sphere of what's happening to movies. And honestly, it was their covering this very movie 10 years ago that put me down this path. So go check them out. They do a lot of good stuff. A lot of it seems a bit repetitive, considering there's so much of this shit going on in Hollywood. But, God, especially some of their early stuff, it's what really brought me into this. But anyway, continuing on, we're just going to watch some, hey, good morning, Shapeshifter. But the rest of the time, I think we're going to spend on Lord Nux appeared on the Roseanne podcast.
Greetings, Earthlings and humans and everybody.
And you have to understand, I know Roseanne's crazy. I know a lot of what she says doesn't make sense sometimes. You know what I mean? But I love her. She's the reason that I'm alive. If it wasn't for her, I would not be here. she saved me, and I hope one day I can give her a big hug and tell her thank you. But she's my hero, even though she's got a picture of her and Hillary Clinton in the background there. It's kind of weird, but let's go.
Everybody else, all other intelligent beings on Earth, particularly animals who are far more intelligent than humans, in my opinion, because animals don't need to bullshit themselves 24/7 in order to feel the joy of living.
I mean, they might. They just do it in their own.
Welcome here. And Jake, what are they? Nephilim?
Anunnaki.
Anunnaki, even Amaleks, whatever you are that came here. You know you came here because, like animals, you love the
These are two of my favorite Jews.
And, whatever you call it, of my voice, because you know it carries truth, unlike most other channels on YouTube and the other various social medias. Welcome to the Roseanne Barr podcast.
That's an intro, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you know, I am so excited.
No, me too.
I haven't been this excited about an interview, maybe in forever, at least for a very long time. You know that I love to interview geniuses, and I have a real genius on here with me today.
She says that because he's a Jew.
Genius, but they're so intelligent and so brilliant that they are actually in anime form, which is beyond genius. And I'm so excited to have this
that's amazing.
character, whom you might know from YouTube, Nux Taku, a genius.
Hello.
Yes, hello,
Well,
Nux.
I don't know about genius, but thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor.
It's such an honor for me to have you. I do not use the term genius lightly, and I do believe you are a genius. Not only a genius in your analysis of world events, which blew my mind, because quite frankly, I didn't...
See, that's the thing. With Roseanne, you never really know what she's talking about, but it's just kind of fun to watch her keep going. This is Nana. She has gone off the rockers, but God, I just love her so much. I loved her show, and yes, Nuxie is here, Lord Nuxanor.
Me, and you've surpassed me.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It is
I'm
crazy.
Very flattered.
It's almost impossible, and then you're much younger, which it makes me so happy. Like when I had Tal Oran on here and a couple other people, you know, members of the tribe who actually can understand the vortex and paradox and whatever else it is we're living in as Jews upon this earth right now.
See,
a lot of people call you the Blue Jew. I love that one. You like that?
Yeah, that was not
Blue
coined
Voldemort.
by me. I'm one of the few blue Jews that I know of, so this is huge.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I think not only that you're a genius, but my God, you're an antidote to everything of the youth, the youthful males. Like you are the slayer of the groypers. Your shit is so together.
Shlomo Fuentes.
I just love everything you say. You're the actual voice of sanity.
Right? No, I
the
love
youth
Nux.
in America. I can't believe the stuff you say. It is so brilliant. It is so true. It is so based in fact. Congratulations. You are one of few people of your generation here in America, for God's sake.
Thank you. I honestly, I don't think anyone has ever complimented me like that on YouTube. Normally I get, that Jew, he likes killing terrorists, he must be horrible, or something like that. So, very appreciated.
I love how you have gone after, what's his name, Piker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude.
And that's Roseanne's son, right there,
Dude,
the bearded one.
You brought him down.
Okay, listen, I'm very grateful. Thank you. The truth is, no one has ruined Hassan Piker's reputation as much as Hassan Piker.
Well, that is true. They all
he
have
gets
that
most of the credit.
Well, yeah, he does. But they have that circular logic like a snake eating its own tail. So pretty soon, you know, they've got a mouthful of their own ass. And they're always caught.
Look, the funny thing with Hassan particularly is if I would have to come up with like a cartoon caricature of like a supervillain, it would be a guy that abuses animals, you know, goes to brothels that have sex trafficked children, like goes to Diddy parties, shocks his dog. Like it's all the things all together, and it's like,
And
this is the face of the left.
Absolutely. And the worst part of it is billionaire socialists. As a former socialist, I say that is that can only be satanic.
Well, I mean, he's a millionaire. He's not a billionaire, but
billionaire socialist. How does
but
that
his father's a billionaire,
It's
allegedly.
impressive. It really is. I mean, if you look at like the Chinese oligarchs, he fits in really well with the people. I mean, you look at his chat. His chat is like communists and terrorists. You know, and they all argue about how the most effective way to destroy America, and I mean that's basically all of his policy. Once you start to realize.
Speaking of which, think before you sleep. Just replied to Hassan right here. This is his outfit. He says, "May I suggest this armband, Hassan?"
They hate America because I think because we have a constitution which guarantees equality for women and blacks.
I mean, I think. Look, I'm a spiritual guy in certain regards. What I think that America is based on, you know, Christendom, biblical values, and I think that these people just hate God. You know, they'll take like a checklist of all of the sins, and that is basically their mantra. You know, communism is just take from people that earn money and give it to people that don't earn money. All right, they call it pride parades. Pride is like the leader of the deadly sins. Like,
I know. I've said that. I said I want to give a parade for another deadly sin like avarice.
I mean, that is communism. Communism is taking money from people that earn it.
Well,
so, yeah.
stealing it. They're thieves.
Well, technically, they want to vote to steal it. So.
Yes, they invert the law of people's rights and get people to march for their own deaths because their bullshit is so strong.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I really find it fascinating. Like, you know, like the Queers for Palestine movement is like, it's such a self-destroying ideology, right? It's chickens for KFC, as they say.
Yes,
like
I
you have
wrote
this
that
entire.
line. I have to say that I wrote that line in my stand-up act about 15 years
No,
ago.
wait. You wrote that line?
Yes, and everyone has stolen all my lines and it.
Oh
whatever.
my God!
It's
I'm
a
in the
compliment.
presence of a legend.
Yes, you are. But not
Oh
just
my
a
God.
legend. But not
The
just
first
a
time
legend.
I heard that line, Benjamin Netanyahu said it in Congress.
Really?
Yeah, I think he said that.
Netanyahu's still in your act.
He owes me $7,000.
For those of you that don't know, $7,000 is how much people accuse YouTubers of selling out to Israel for $7,000, and that's it. That being said, Israel, if you want to pay me $7,000, I'll gladly take it.
Wow, that's
you guys left out.
I mean,
sorry,
I'll still talk the same as I do, but I'll take the $7,000.
Thing about Hassan Piker.
Hey, Yanuka.
He's related to Chunk. Another thing they wrote, Chunk Huger.
That's true. That's true.
That's the most horrible.
What's Queers for Palestine? I'm trying to understand the context. Queers for Palestine, it's an actual group. They have presence on social media, but it's gay people who are activists for Palestine. And the reason they could say it's like chickens for KFC is because if these queers went to Palestine, they would throw them off rooftops because Hamas thinks that being gay is haram, so they will stone them or just fling them off of rooftops, which is why they say chickens for KFC.
Line, that one's really. I mean, I don't want to get.
The thing about Hassan's family line is it's a straight line. Right? Like it is an self-admitted inbred family. It's incredible. It's all of the.
They also fuck animals.
And he gets his 85 IQ audience from Pakistan involved, and together they're gonna LARP as revolutionaries to destroy America.
I can't believe that they're. I mean, I know that he and Sneeko and Chunk are kind of on a they're not allowed into the UK anymore, and he himself was extradited from Australia. How long is it going to be before we start getting rid of people that are advocating for the destruction of our republic?
Well, I mean, it is pretty impressive that the first Muslim ever banned from the UK was Hassan Piker. Like, that is pretty impressive. But I don't know. I feel
pretty
like
good.
we really have to do something about this. Like, we have the Communist, Enforcement Act of 1954, right?
Right.
We could deport communists if we want to, but people don't want to take that step. Like, I
do.
wish Donald Trump was the guy that the left thinks he is. Oh my God, he's a fascist. He's taking away our rights. He's making concentration camps for illegal aliens. And I'm like, yes. But no, he doesn't.
I know.
Unfortunately,
I know, and I love that you say, good, we should kill terrorists. Are you...
Pay me for existing as a commentator, Palestine, not my country. From what I understand, Israel did pay one time for a premonition of a pro-Israel event in a big church, America, $7,000. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, one time a thing happened, and it just becomes this person who makes thousands of dollars a month, or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, he sold out to Israel for $7,000.
Kidding? Of course we should kill people that want to purposely target civilians.
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like there's such an inversion on like the global moral compass. Look, again, we're based in biblical law here in America. That's the foundation of the Constitution. All of the founding fathers were religious Christians, and the way I see it, it says in the Bible that you kill someone before they try to kill you.
Right.
Like, for some reason, we have been convinced by sodomites in the UN that actually they understand the true moral compass.
Yeah, and that is their moral compass.
Slavery in Sharia countries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, Trump exists. Ew.
And I guess they
Yeah,
just
exactly.
feel that there's so many of them that they just have to make peace with it rather than fight it.
No, I figured you meant promotion, Yanuka. But I appreciate you correcting, because I am like Ron Burgundy. I will just read everything exactly as you type it, so I apologize for that.
But the Bible also says
But I know what
we
you
are to
mean.
hate evil and to destroy it, does it not?
Yeah. Yeah.
These people are all into, we understand. If you understand evil, you got to go too.
Well, I mean, I think that they are evil, actually. I don't... Like, I think at this point, if you are on that side of the aisle, you're either evil or... I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on your podcast. You're either evil or mentally challenged.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
can say
Like, if you're... I could say retard?
Yeah, you can say retard.
Yay, retard.
They're either evil or retarded.
I think they're possessed by fucking Satan. I really do. I think Satan.
And that
has
unlocks
control.
Roseanne
Like I said,
to start
I was
cussing.
The first to say, when Tucker had that
Based.
tussle with the demon, I was the first to say, well, it took him, and I know
It poked him in his
it's
butthole.
Belak, speaking of the Bible, and Candace got possessed by Balaam. I mean, it's straight
No,
up the
Candace,
Bible.
and this is one place where I disagree with Roseanne. If she was possessed by Balaam, she's always been possessed by him, because Candace has always been like this. You can see it. Just slowly, the facade cracked away.
All they do is curse Israel, and they get in trouble, and they don't see any straight line for cursing the Jews and losing everything. They don't see any connection, even though the Bible they purport to study and believe in says don't do that.
I mean, every time I have a hard time taking these people seriously. I feel like the best antidote to this is just making fun of retards. It
Yes.
really is. It's a cure-all, Like, you have Candace Owens saying that the Jews invented dinosaurs to trick Christians into not believing in God. And it's like, yeah, I don't think the Jews invented the dinosaurs.
No.
So once you go down that path...
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
It's everything. She says that Israel is using Egyptian planes and Sumerian technology to time travel and kill Charlie Kirk because he had X-Men powers. Okay? Once that is on the agenda...
And this whole everything since then has been basically... I love Shapeshifter. This whole thing has basically been Days of Future Past where they kill Charles Xavier. He was Charles Xavier, I guess, to these people.
It's like, are we ever going to take you seriously again?
But so many do. What the fuck is wrong with them? You know what's funny? For years they told us, put your money in the bank. It's going to be safe there.
Is this advertisement, Roseanne?
That's what the whole set of stuff with you all with just a few.
Scan the QR code if you want to assist Roseanne.
To actually owning some.
Well, I mean, I think.
Or is it just a bunch of bots? Is it a manufactured opinion?
I want to meet this person someday. I really do.
Manufactured by billionaires just to upset our country and cause civil war.
You know, that is a theory.
No, never. I notice you every time you're in here.
You know, Twitter clippers, his account analytics got leaked, and it turns out the majority of his viewers were like from Pakistan. So
what? Imagine that. We'd love to promote Sneeko.
Obviously, it is a growing sentiment. And the truth is, people have like kind of always hated the Jews. Like, it's not a new sentiment either. Like, when we look at it as like the rise of anti-Semitism, but this is like the 2000th rise of anti-Semitism.
Well, it's never left. I mean, that's part of our gestalt that we have to deal with that. And that's what's made us so smart and powerful, of course.
Yeah, the Jews, the one people you can never criticize. So therefore, I am going to start a podcast exclusively criticizing the Jews.
Yeah, and it's like this. Hey, the Jews control everything, the weather, the lasers, so I'm going to spit in their face every single day. When they have the power of life and death to kill people and destroy whole civilizations, I'm going to poke the bear, the nuclear bear, in the face every day. Yeah.
The Jews, they control the banks.
The Trues.
My bank account got banned. No, but like, I'm kidding, but the issue is, like, there are genuine criticisms that you could levy towards Jews, mostly leftist Jews, because I think those guys are like,
oh yeah, they're
some of the biggest banes in civilization. Like,
absolutely, they need to go.
There's always a leftist Jew behind it, you know. Almost every time.
Absolutely. There's always a leftist Jew leading the son of a bitch. And he's an atheist too.
One of them there self-hating Jews.
I'm totally with you. And you know, you'll have someone criticize how like there's a Jew that was like very instrumental in like the abortion movement or the LGBT movement and stuff like that. And I'm nodding my head along, and it's like, and then the Jews invented dinosaurs and they invented outer space, and I'm like, wait, hold up, wait.
It never stops. It never stops in the way to be rational about it, which is also in the Bible. And I don't know why, I'm largely ignored by all Jewish media. Are you?
Yeah. Most Jewish media is left-leaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even when it pretends to be conservative or reform, I used to have a great joke.
Where'd you say hi to me now? No, I said hi to you like the second that you pop in and yell Barry or Baron baby. I always say, hey shapeshifter. Oh, by the way, I think I'm gonna be Brooke from One Piece. If y'all are anime fans, I think that I'm gonna be Brooke for Halloween this year. And it completely covers my face, so I might actually post it, at least on X. But the only thing that's gonna suck is I won't be able to go up to people and randomly say, "Hello, dear. Can I see your panties?" Anyway, sorry.
I'm not a reformed Jew, but I am trying to cut down.
I'm not full-blooded Jew, but I am Jewish. Was always one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of all on the same side. There's no difference in anything they say. They don't talk about our religion. They don't talk about God. They don't talk about Torah. They just blabber on.
That's something that really bothers me. I feel like one of the the famous quote, and for Satan's biggest trick, he convinced you he never existed at all. You know, and like even when I see like quote unquote conservative Jew still be like, actually migration is just beneficial for America, and I'm thinking, conservative Jew wants to import pagans into America.
You hate
right? Exclusively from fucking.
Sorry, my first thought was.
You know, you start to wonder
Anyway,
what the
sorry.
actual strategy there is.
Well, you know what it is. It's money. It's like whoever pays you. If you don't
Are you
believe
saying
in
that
God,
Jews like money?
I am. I'm saying that if you don't believe in God or have any moral compass, you know, the next thing is accumulation, and you know, showing everybody how blessed you are, or whatever you want to call it. What a big thief and liar you are. That matters in this world.
See, and this is one thing that
Yeah.
I
You know, you got money. You got.
I absolutely hate about all the media behind Elon Musk becoming a trillionaire. I'm glad you laughed at that. Is because, look, I understand when you think of someone like an insurance CEO or whatever, someone has to lose for you to gain. But with Elon Musk, I mean, it is kind of that way because that's how the stock market works. But it's just someone who made better investments, better decisions than you. He didn't hurt anybody. Like, he didn't get his wealth by screwing old people out of their pensions or anything like that. He didn't fire people 5 minutes before retirement. He didn't do any of these things. All he did was make really good choices, invest in companies that he was passionate about. And I think him buying X was one of the best things that could have happened for political discourse in this country, or any discourse.
Ego, you know, there are many drives.
Are you
to,
saying that
power.
Jews are Jews?
And it's sad.
Maybe.
It really is.
It tells us that our main.
And I say this, look, I've got a. I defend Jewish people because I've been beat up for looking overly Jewish in areas where that's frowned upon, apparently. I've got an eggish shaped head. My hair's really curly when I grow it out. I'm funny. I'm good with numbers. I'm good with other people's money, but not my own, which is why I'm living the way I do. Basically, all these Jewish stereotypes embody me, but at the same time, a lot of black stereotypes embody me too. Like, this is the thing, but especially in my teens and 20s, I got a lot of hate for being Jewish, and I'm not Jewish. I've never been Jewish. I thought about converting, but it's a lot of work to do that, and I'm good. But I've got a soft spot for Jews. The same soft spot I have for like family members or that one friend from school who, you know, you want them to do well. It sounds so condescending. I'm sorry, but no, and because I've been beaten up for that, it's given me kind of a kinship with them, and you know, I'll still say, hey, what are you doing? You know, in general, or to Israel or whatever, or to Netanyahu specifically. But at the same time, I'm just like, you know, I consider them like any other people because they are.
Enemy isn't the Gentiles; it's the Arab Rav, the Jews who practice black magic and dark teachings. The Arab Rav who came out of Egypt. And God told Moses, don't take them out, but Moses was kind of a liberal himself. And he convinced God that they could change. And God said, no, they can't change. They are always...
Even if I tried,
in the
even
back,
if I wanted to
behind you, and they attack you on your weakest flank. They are Amalek, and that is your enemy. And you know, they have to be condemned and called out because they hate God. They hate the Jews. They hate Israel, like George Soros. They hate us. And when they can kill us all, then they'll be the Jews. They'll be the real Jews that, you know, work for power and, you know, can be eugenicists like all the Nazis. They don't give a shit.
I think, you know, sort of
Nuck's trying to piece that together.
Things there, but yeah, no, I get the sentiment for sure. You know, like Amalek was a different thing, sort of. But you know, I do agree with you for sure. I mean, like if you read the book of Judges, you know, every generation there's a new judge, right? The first judge was Joshua, right? And then et cetera, et cetera. You know, you had Samson, you had Gideon, et cetera. And basically every chapter, like every time a new judge shows up, is like, and there was peace for 40 years, and then the Jews forgot like the goodness that God gave them, and they started fighting among each other, and then a new threat rose
Oh yeah,
up.
George
The
Soros is
Philistines
the fucking
rose up
worst.
to destroy them, you know, and then the Jews prayed and they got together, and then God elected a new judge and saved them. And then 40 years later, like it happened again. Like the moral there is, like a lot of it is self-inflicted.
Yep.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
it's a mind virus. It's a mind virus, and you know, until Jews are, I feel like, of course, I think there's been a rebirth in our nation in the last few years, and
Holy crap. I'm actually going to praise Myron Gaines. He said Mamdani's a pussy for only arresting 65 people. I mean, he said that New York PD and Mamdani are a singular pussy, but this is crazy. I will never. I thought I would never praise him, but here I am.
and
We'll watch it change tomorrow, and he's part of the reason why he won, but whatever.
Under trauma and genocide for 2,000 years, we are beginning to leave that kind of Egypt and, you know, hold fast to what we're supposed to hold fast to, which is, you know, our Creator and His words.
I definitely do hope so. And one thing that I have to say about like the overall Jewish like media or whatever, calling everything anti-Semitism is cancer. It's cancer.
Yes.
You know, it's like the blacktivist community freaking out that Carmelo Anthony is going to jail for murder, and they're like, but he's just a baby. He's a fucking murderer, and he should be executed. Pardon me. But like I think if you kill someone like this, you should die. All right, I don't want my tax dollars to fund this guy's life in prison. I'd rather him just be dead. All right, his butthole is going to become a 4-lane parkway. All right, we could solve a lot of issues preemptively. And in fact, the Bible says someone who takes a life should have his life taken in return. All right, it is moral to execute him. But for some reason, you have the blacktivist community come together and scream about that. And you know what? That's going to make a lot of people racist. Right, this dude murdered a white guy in cold blood.
All those activists, I mean, I know this because I know this. I ran for president in 2012, and so I got on the mailing list of people who run for president, and I'm still on it. So I see a lot of things. And, you know, I know that there's no activists. These are paid. They are paid troublemakers. They're the brown shirts. And, you know, they couldn't get enough Americans to do it, so they imported them. And they need the street gangs, just like the Nazis did, to overthrow the freedom. And, you know, to me, it's like...
Which is something you won't find on the right. The Proud Boys, the most they did was counteract Antifa. And there's nothing you will ever convince me of otherwise. The only exception being January 6th, which was retarded. Roseanne Barr as a president. I would love to see any press conference.
Freedom for women in this country if they're going to make a big move towards worldwide domination. And now they've got women, you know, the young women out.
We could call her slogan can be raising the bar with 2 R's.
Cheering for rape, being for rape.
Literally.
Yep.
I mean, it's a very strong mind virus.
I mean, I totally agree with you. And whatever, we could discuss the causes for years. I mean, obviously, I don't think China and Qatar funding our universities is like doing a great thing in society. You know, you have people coming out of colleges that are their political stance is actually just pro-rape. You know, they want to import rapists from the third world. They don't want a border so that, you know, hundreds of thousands of kids could get sex trafficked across the border. All right, they literally just endorsed this guy for Senate, Graham Plattner, the guy with the Nazi tattoo, who was just accused of like being some sort of weird sexual, like, deviant guy. He was messaging people on Kick, a messenger platform, and he was cheating on his wife with all. Like this is who you're supporting? Like, in the UK, they're covering up Islamic rape gangs.
Yeah,
Like,
and
why?
have been
Why on earth would you do this?
Because
Yeah.
they like rape.
Good morning, Evil
I
Sizer.
guess so. I guess so.
Interesting moment for you to jump in, but it's good to see you, buddy.
They're collusionary with rape, and they always have been. That's
But
how
I think part of it is, like, again, I think it kind of boils down to the same idea that they hate our civilization and they want to destroy it.
That's
So,
what it is.
You know,
Destruction,
the left is more than happy to import infinite retards from the third world who are going to vote for the communist policies to basically take money away from the people that earn it and give it to the retards, right? So they get the votes, they get the people. It's not like they can actually grow themselves because they don't breed. They abort their children, they castrate kids. You know, that is their policy. So
it's
you know,
it's the lemming mind virus. They get in.
I love hearing anyone talk to Roseanne, and then they'll say something, she'll jump onto something that sometimes has something to do with it. And I love it especially with Nux's avatar, to where his eyes will be really big and he'll be quiet for like 2 or 3 seconds, and then he'll be like, yeah, I understood some of that.
in line to cheer for their own death.
yeah. See, I sometimes wonder.
My kids' I have 5 kids. They've done it to their entire generation. They did it to mine too, so that we would raise dysfunctional fucking kids like that.
That is true. That is true.
I don't know. I think this has always kind of
They
been
make
plan.
us they make
I'm
it
not
sound
saying that,
like
you know, there's
being fucking moronic is actually good, and it's your right to be so. Look, I do a lot of dumb shit. I'm generally known as a retard, but but at the same time, man, I just they try to incentivize acting the absolute worst that you can behave, and they call it empowering. And in reality, if we're all trying to be, you know, punk rock or whatever, if we're all trying to be outsiders, or if we all think we're outsiders, then we're just the same person. You know what it is? It's like, you know, everybody's special, and if everybody's special, no one is. If everybody's a super, then nobody's a super.
Shadowy cabal of whatever. But I do think this has always been a concerted goal of whatever forces of evil happen to be around forever.
Well, it's power. It's the seats of power in every country. They've always been in power forever, and this is how they keep it. Rape, slavery, trafficking of children as slaves, and, you know, and they're degenerates. And, I mean, really, only a degenerate is for rape.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah.
The question is, do they worship Satan knowingly, or is it just like, yeah?
They do. Yeah, I'm from Hollywood. I've seen it. They all worship Satan, whom they call, as Marx said in his opus, Lucifer, the light bearer, who's Satan.
Yeah.
The star of the morning.
Same guy. Yeah.
I mean,
no,
obviously
it's wild.
They Torah so badly that they actually took the time to invert every precept in it and then to live against it.
I don't personally think that everyone in this mindset's evil. I think the people that push these things could be construed as evil, perhaps, especially the people who propagate this in places like Hollywood, and then the people who push it behind the scenes, like your Soroses and such. But the people who fall for this on a daily basis, most of them aren't evil. Most of them have been basically propagandized and or cudgeled, even. The guy who gave humanity knowledge. Yeah, no, exactly. And it's all fun that we all try so hard to stay informed, and that's kind of, I don't know. The more informed that we seem to be these days, especially, the more uninformed we see to be as a people. Because a lot of people will read the cover of a book and be like, "Yeah, I read that book. I read it cover to cover. front cover or under the back cover. Anyway.
Against the things they claim don't exist. It's
shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
I think the line it is a destruction of the West. It is a plan. It's not happenstance. This is their plan. It has been for a long, long time. What's scary to me is, sorry to interrupt, what's scary to me is not that they're doing it, because they always have. What's bothering me is, and I say this every week, are the people on our side, we're conservative, whatever you want to call it, that are falling for it, that are smart, that have been smart. We were smart through COVID, we were smart through Trump, and now we're buying this propaganda, this anti-West propaganda, and people are falling for it. Big names on our side. That's what's bothering me. Like you said, anti-Semitism's always been around, but now people are falling for it, and they're buying into it, and it's gaining this.
I will say, sorry to cut him off in the middle of his little speech, but Benny Johnson saying shit like this, this is why I less and less can't with. Look, you can be anti-illegal immigrant, but saying something like this when someone gets their ass beat in a UFC fight, you picked the wrong night to be a foreigner in America. Benny Johnson's a grifter. I cannot with this guy. I don't think. I'm slowly starting to think that he's going the Tucker Carlson route. Like he seems a bit like what most people saw Candace Owens as right before she came out as the way that I've been saying she is all along. I'm calling it. Benny Johnson's going to be the next great grifter that converts over.
His power, and it's really terrifying to me, because these are the people that I consider smart, that were going to save America and help America. They're going to sell it out faster than the left ever did.
Yeah, and I'm not.
I don't think anyone's
in the chat, I honestly don't support Christianity anymore, but I don't agree with the leftist. No, I'm not particularly religious my own self. I'm not like some devil worshiper or anything, but I've never been particularly religious. I respect religion, and I'm not someone who will just like go and bang someone in a church or something. But there's a channel, it used to be called Atheist Republic, that supports Satanism. Because he is anti-religion, and his opinion, they don't support Satanism, but they try to troll religious people. I mean, trolling religious people is all right, as long as I don't know, as long as you're not harassing them at church or in service or anything like that, and you're not doing something like violent or to make them feel horribly unsafe. But then again, I don't like trolling people in public. If you want to send, like, case in point, like Benny Johnson, something trolling on X, sure, that's your right to. But don't harass people in public. I'm never been a big fan of that. Unless you're exposing them for fraud, like Nick Shirley.
Anti-Semitism, I think it's dormant.
Yeah.
And, it goes into remission, but it's always a...
I stopped supporting it because Christians say animals don't go to heaven. To say murderers and rapists. I mean, it depends. Like, if they repent 5 minutes before they die, then at most give them one of those what's the in between called that we explored in Supernatural season 6. Purgatory or something, but
the disease that flares up now and then when they put two wires together that cancel reason in their own brain.
I agree, and so at some point I agree that it's dormant and stuff. But on the other hand, we do have a lot of this issue with the fact that so much of it is self-induced. Like, for example, and this is a stupid example. So in many European countries, it's illegal to question the Holocaust. Right now, my grandparents are Holocaust survivors. Obviously, the numbers are accurate to say that it was approximately 6 million. Yeah. Sorry?
Mine did not survive. You're lucky.
Yeah. Well, my grandparents, their whole families were killed. So, like, the survivors ended up getting married, kind of. So, whatever. Anyway, there's an outstanding amount of data that it was around 6 million, right?
Yeah.
Like, just from geographical data, etc. And
from the Nazis' own records, they're incredible record keepers, all fascists.
Yeah. So again, there's so much overwhelming data. So why did it become illegal to ask questions about it? You know,
That's a
like
good question.
if they would have made it normal to you ask questions, you get shown the data, you move on, great. But once it becomes a taboo, right? Once you go to jail for asking questions, you start wondering, well, what are they hiding? What are they hiding? And a lot of people, I think, caused the issue that we're seeing right now, which is like, oh, I think it was actually 271,000 at most, you know, which is a laughable.
I completely
number
agree with
if you
Nux on
look
this
at
point.
Any actual history, but hey, you weren't allowed to ask the questions though, and why not? Why can't we ask questions?
Well,
Something like that.
No, and I completely agree with him on that. And you start, and that's what I'm saying. This, you not being able to ask questions like this is part, and just being shown the proof or how we got to that proof or whatever questions anyone once asked is part of where these great conspiracies come from. This is how you get people, otherwise known as dipshits, such as Candace Owens. And I'm not saying that asking questions makes you a dipshit. I'm saying that watching Candace Owens for information makes you a dipshit. But because some of the stuff that she says, like the Egyptian planes chasing Erica Kirk, and they were within like 90 miles of where she was at all times. Like, what are you talking about?
To ask the questions because of things like the Anti-Defamation League. They're the ones that rush in, put all that censorship shit.
100%, and they are Jews.
Well, I call them Spinos.
Okay.
Yeah, they're Jews in name only. They're not followers of the religion. They're not.
No,
like
I mean ethnically Jews.
Yeah.
See, and they call themselves Jews.
Yeah.
Right? Well, when it benefits them, yeah.
For sure. But if you are looking from the outside, you're like, those Jews are censoring me, which is kind of true.
Yep.
So that's a very legitimate criticism.
Yes, it is.
And the question is,
that are never allowed to say the things we're saying here and be, picked up or retweeted or whatever the hell you call it by any Jewish conservative or American Jewish organization or voice for American Jews. We are completely censored because we speak about Torah and we speak about Jewish responsibility and Jewish people who, like every other minority in a leftist leaning culture, the only way for you to succeed is to sell out your own.
Absolutely. And also the victim mindset, right? The left is really big on the whole victim mindset idea. You know, black people today are still oppressed by slavery, however long, hundreds of years ago. And, and I feel the same way whenever I see a Jewish guy being like, but the Holocaust, and it's like, but you're a really successful guy right now. All right. Yeah. So.
And real quick, I just happened to, thank God for Retard Finder on X. So this is the circle game, also known as the nutshot game. People play this with different rules. But if you look at this little circle that people hold below their waist, it means you either get to pop them in the nuts, kick them in the ass, or call them a slur. Depending on who you're around. Or you get to be like, hey, what are we, like 12? Why are we doing this? That's all this little hand signal is. But he's being investigated because it's been dubbed a white supremacist symbol. Because if you hold it upside down, it looks like a W, and then this looks like a P if you hold it upside down. It's so stupid, man. It's so stupid.
Yes, it was a tragedy. Yes, we should obviously remember that this horrible thing was allowed to happen.
No, exactly.
Somehow.
Men exist, therefore I'm oppressed. Feminist.
Stop bitching. Come on. You know? And
you know who allowed it the most? The New York Times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
New York
Variety
Times published an article. They want to be like, well, we are not Israeli propaganda. Then they published an article about how Israel is training dogs to rape Palestinians. And it's like, if you believe that, you're actually just fucking stupid. Yeah. You're actually just retarded if you believe that Israel is training dogs to rape Palestinians. And the New York Times, they published it anyway. You know? Like, the whole, like, genocide narrative also. It's actually laughable if you think about it. You mean to tell me that there was a genocide, or according to the UN, 70% of the buildings were injured, but 1% of the population was killed? That sound like a genocide to you?
And you've
Right.
seen all those films that people, actually Palestinian people, gave their lives to smuggle out, with them placing children in front of right where they fired a rocket, where they knew it was going to
Exactly. You have videos of this shit
fire.
happening.
Schoolyards full.
Everyone knew that.
Probably by the same people who were supporting the Democrat Nazi guy. Yeah, exactly. Probably the same people who were supporting Graham Plattner, who was an open. He's very clearly a Nazi, and he's. I swear, like people. He very much, him and Hassan Piker basically are real life versions of PC Bres. Like they're PC Bres before, they were smashing poon, when, and they're just basically closeted Nazis trying to be woke for ass, and they don't really mean any of it. But a lot of it, and that's the funny thing. Like if you really think about a lot of these woke policies, it's really just a different way for hate groups and Nazis to go about their own business. It's absolutely insane. Like the Black Lives Matter guy from Missouri, like 10 years back, he was pushing for segregated dorms. He was a black dude, and he was pushing for to resegregate dorms at Mizzou.
That's the craziest part. Everyone knew this. And like when you go to your average Palestine protest, they go up to like the liberal girl from college with the septum piercing and the blue hair, and then they ask them, it's like you're fighting for Palestine, and then they're like, oh my God, I love Palestine because LGBT rights. And it's like, okay.
I know.
Yes, because they're so feminist
Did
there.
you see that one fat LGBT plus CIA that stood there? And of course, he was a fat Jew, and I was horrified. But he
The most
said,
anti-Semitic podcast
Yeah.
ever.
and he goes,
You're so
I
right.
think I would be, they go, what
Bro,
do you
we're
think?
gonna be the new Tucker Carlson. It's gonna
I know. We know how to do anti-Semitism. Sorry.
That's right.
They says, what do you think could happen to you if you went to Gaza? He goes, well, I think I would be protected by my white skin privilege. He actually said that, the fat
Wow.
fuck.
That's crazy. That's
That was
crazy.
it in a nutshell.
Bro,
Yep.
Hassan Piker just went on British media to say that Hamas isn't actually anti-Semitic, right?
What the fuck?
Just literally, like 2 days ago, he was banned from the UK, and then he gets interviewed on some like libtard media outlet in England, and they're like, Mr. Hassan Piker, you must admit that Hamas is at least anti-Semitic, and he's like, well, actually, I don't actually think so necessarily. Like, I'm sure that there's anti-Semitism among Palestine, just like there's anti-Semitism among British people. And it's like, no.
No, it'd be funny. In the chat, someone said, I was accused of having a Palestinian slave. It'd be funny if he just had a roommate that was Muslim. Straits exist. That's your community. They're probably closeted.
No, they literally raise kids to stab Jews. Okay? We have to live in reality a little bit.
They hate reality. They just
They do.
despise reality.
Hold on. They do hate reality, but also in the chat, straights exist, LGBT community. They're probably closeted. Funny story about that. Also, I loved how you called him Yakuka. But when it comes to LGBT community, you know what's really funny? It is the people who are as violent as far left agitators are usually the most violent people who are on the right, who are closeted. Like when like people I went to school with, and you see it all the time, they'll be like, football players and really big in the church, and they'll be really aggressively violent towards gay people. But then 5-10 years down the road, they're some of the most aggressive gay people at some of these rallies against the right. I mean, it's funny that most of the aggression from the right usually turns out to be gay people or trans years down the road, and now they're pushing the same. It's the same people, like I always mention. I used to come out. I mean, it's not like it's spelled out right in front of you. I'm sorry, but it's always really funny to me. Like the same people who used to throw stuff at me for coming out of a gay club with my friends, because I'm a ride or die. I love my friends more than anything. And so I go and support them if they have like this or that. I don't care if it's a drag show or whatever, as long as you don't like try to, me in the bathroom or something, then we're cool. We can just hang out and be a bunch of people drinking beers or whatever. But people who would throw stuff at us and call us, fags in the chat, sorry I let it slip, but are now the same people who are on the other side of things. Now they're going to the gay clubs and they want to trans all the kids because it's trendy. Like it's absolutely insane. The same people who called me the F slur for gay people are now calling me homophobic and transphobic because I don't think you should sterilize kids to push a political objective.
And they want to crack it so bad that nobody has any reason left. And they're doing it.
I think the ultimate psyop was they, for years, had a stranglehold on all of media that you're not allowed to say that men can't be women. Right? That was a taboo. You say men can't be women, you lose your job.
Yeah.
I think some people in the UK went to jail for it.
Yeah. They did. And then,
I know they
Trump is a fascist. And then they turn around and they arrest some guy that says men can't be women.
Yeah, for a Facebook post.
Well, I think that I was fired by ABC because of their anti-Semitism in misinterpreting my tweet, which was about the IRGC in Iran, and saying that I meant black people in America. I mean, that was purely anti-Semitic, and I'm not allowed to speak about that either. But
interesting. I always thought that was more like just because you're a conservative voice.
That's how.
No, I was in the middle of a 3-month conversation with Iranian journalists about women's rights there and how that had been the target of the whole Iran deal of Obama to take away women's business.
And my thing with movies like Cuties, okay, in the chat, Children Exist, Hollywood, we made the movie Cuties. Shapeshifter, you should make memes for a living, by the way. My favorite part is they said that the movie Cuties was talking about how horrible those situations and parents that put their kids in those situations are. You're still doing that for this movie. Surely you must realize it. You're teaching these kids to dress and dance like this just to make this movie. Use midgets. Use that one. There's this midget I keep seeing on my timeline. She's like, she's got a dwarfism that makes her look like she'll always be like 10 or 11. Like, get like 10 or 12 of them, teach them how to act and dance, and put them in those movies. Okay, at least then they're adults. But then the people who are into movies like Cuties, like what was it, Sneeko? Then they're really confused.
Businesses and destroy women whose hair showed or whatever thing they had. It's always that way. They always come for Jews and women, and very, very much at the same time. It's a political tool that power uses to enslave an entire nation. But nobody ever wakes up to that. That's what's horrifying.
Listen, just because it says in the Quran, okay, that you could take sex slaves from Jews and Christians, it doesn't mean they're anti-Semitic, okay?
And it doesn't mean they're rapists either.
Yeah, totally.
It certainly doesn't mean that's a rape culture.
Are you familiar with the story of Al-Zut?
I might be, but refresh.
Okay. I'm going to have to... Maybe I should. No, I think you'd be really good at it. Also, Hollywood, we don't support Sound of Freedom. Yeah, no, exactly. But they say that that's the only ones that they want deported. But anyway, guys, I got to run, mostly because I really have to go to the restroom. But I got to do a couple things before I go to work. So, love you guys to death. We'll continue this tomorrow in addition to whatever happens today. So, this has been... Sorry, this has been Alfie Animus for the Association.